Close your eyes and picture this. A 19-year-old kid sits alone in a jail cell, his dreams crumbling around him. Just 2 years earlier, he'd given up on football completely. No academies wanted him. No scouts believed in him. Fast forward one more year, and against all odds, he's signing his first professional contract. But this isn't some fairy tale. This is Ian Wright's life, a story so unbelievable, you'd swear it was fiction. Let's rewind further. At 8 years old, Ian couldn't read or write. He was kicked out of class so often, he barely attended school. His childhood? A nightmare. His mother, an alcoholic, once screamed she wished she'd aborted him. His stepfather? A violent gambler who made him face the wall during match of the day, just to torture him with the sound of the game he loved. No hugs, no love, just pain. Then one man changed everything. A teacher, Mr. Pigden, saw the broken boy standing in the hallway, day after day. Instead of scolding him, he taught him to read, to write, to believe in himself. He became the father Ian never had. And when Ian blasted footballs into net with pure rage, Mr. Pigden whispered, "Jimmy Greaves doesn't smash it. He passes it in. Be patient." Now fast forward again. Age 22, Ian signed for a second division club. 25, he's in the Premier League. 28, he joins a top club. 31, Ballon d'Or nominee. 33, he becomes Arsenal's all-time top scorer, outpacing legends like Thierry Henry. And yet, the most iconic moment of his career? At 42 years old, sobbing in the arms of Mr. Pigden, the man who saved him. This isn't just a football story. This is about rage, redemption, and one teacher's love that turned a lost boy into a legend. And what happens next? Oh, it gets even crazier. Because Ian Wright's journey, it's only just beginning. But let's not sugarcoat it. Ian Wright's path to glory was paved with brutal setbacks. At 15, he dropped out of school. At 19, after 8 years of failed football trials, he was arrested for driving without a license. No money for the fine. No hope. Just 14 days in jail, staring at the ceiling, wondering if his life was already over. And in that moment, he gave up, not just on football, on every dream he ever had. He took a grueling job at a refinery, vowing to be just one thing, a better father than his own ever was. Then, fate intervened. His childhood friend, David Rockesell, was now an Arsenal superstar, telling him daily, "You're better than anyone in my training sessions." But Ian, he was playing 9th Division football for £30 a week, shrugging off every scout's offer. "I can't take another rejection," he'd say. Until one day, a desperate manager at Crystal Palace called. Not once, not twice, 3 times Ian refused. But when a coworker lied to his bosses to get him time off, he finally said yes. What happened next? Pure chaos. On trial day, Ian got lost, sprinting 2 miles in sweat-drenched clothes, arriving late, only to play like a man possessed. The manager whispered to his director, "This kid could play for England." And with that, a 3-month contract for £100 a week, paid in second-hand gym equipment because the club was broke. But when Ian walked out of that office, he collapsed in tears. After 11 years of rejection, he was finally a professional footballer. Yet the battle was far from over. His new teammates? Bullies. They mocked his accent, his rough manners, even how he held a knife and fork. "When have you ever eaten steak?" They'd sneer. Ian ate alone in his room, swallowing humiliation with every bite. But on the pitch, he channeled that rage into goals. By season's end, he was their second top scorer, without even starting. By year 3, 23 goals. Year 4, 33 goals, a club record in decades. And then came the playoff, where Ian Wright did the unthinkable asterisk. The stage was set for Ian Wright's ultimate revenge against every doubter, every bully, every scout who said he'd never make it. Crystal Palace faced the playoffs, their last chance to reach England's top division after an 8-year exile. After losing the first leg of the semi-final, Ian delivered a thunderous volley to send them through. But in the final, down 3-1 after first match, facing humiliation. That's when the Sunday League reject became a legend. 17 minutes into the second leg, Wright pounced, toe poking the ball over the line to ignite the comeback. When the game went to extra time, with just 3 minutes remaining, he rose like a phoenix to head home the winner. The stadium erupted. Fans stormed the pitch, lifting him like a god, tearing at his shirt as if his very touch could heal their decades of heartbreak. This wasn't just promotion. This was a man who'd been told he wasn't good enough his entire life, single-handedly carrying a club to the promised land. But Wright was just getting started. When he broke his leg twice that season, doctors said his career might be over. Then he watched in the stands as Palace miraculously reached the FA Cup semi-final. The moment the final whistle blew, Wright forgot his cast, forgot the pain. He sprinted onto the pitch like a madman. Crutches be damned. If I get one chance to live my dream, he vowed, no one will stop me. Against all medical advice, he convinced the manager to put him on the bench for the final against Manchester United. With Palace down 2-1 in the 70th minute, they unleashed their secret weapon. 3 minutes after coming on, Wright danced through United's defense to equalize. In extra time, another ruthless finish. For 20 glorious minutes, the boy who wasn't allowed to watch football on TV was now the hero of English football's greatest stage. Though United would force a replay, the message was clear. Ian Wright didn't just belong in the big leagues. He was born for them. And this was just the beginning of a rampage that would shock the world. Because when Arsenal came calling with a record-breaking offer, Ian Wright was about to prove that not making it as a kid, that just made him hungry. And so, at 28 years old, the boy they said was too old, too raw, too angry became Arsenal's record signing. The doubters roared. How could a Sunday League reject be worth more than proven stars? Ian Wright answered them with a debut hat trick. Then 4 goals in one game. Then the golden boot, stolen from Gary Lineker with an injury time winner on the final day of the season. The streets of London soon flooded with Nike ads declaring, behind every great goalkeeper is a ball from Ian Wright. But this story was never just about goals. It was about redemption. When Arsenal sold his brother-in-arms David Rockesell, Wright played to the pain, dragging a boring 10th-place Arsenal to cup glory almost single-handedly. When England snubbed him for 3 straight major tournaments, he responded by becoming Arsenal's all-time top scorer at 33, outpacing Thierry Henry's legendary rate. And when he finally lifted the Premier League trophy under Arsene Wenger, he did it with a ruptured hamstring, watching from the sidelines as his protege Nicolas Anelka finished his revolution. Yet the most powerful moment came years after retirement. That clip of 42-year-old Ian Wright, sobbing in his teacher Mr. Pigden's arms? That's the legacy. Not the 185 Arsenal goals. Not the Ballon d'Or nominations. But the fact that a boy who was never hugged, who slept rough, who served time, became a man who gave others a love he never received. Today, when Arsenal fans demand a statue be built, they're not just honoring a striker. They're honoring the human spirit. Because Ian Wright's story proves that talent isn't born. It's forged in adversity. That rejection isn't the end. It's fuel. And that sometimes, the greatest victories have nothing to do with trophies and everything to do with proving your demons wrong.